Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin says the U.S.'s peace plan could be a basis of a Ukraine deal, but says the war will end, quote, once Ukrainian troops withdraw from the territories they occupy. If they don't withdraw, we will achieve this through military means. Meanwhile, Ukraine's chief negotiator, Andriy Yermak, says as long as Zelenskyy is president, no one should count on us giving up territory. He will not sign away territory. The Constitution prohibits this. Nobody can do that unless they want to go against the Ukrainian Constitution and the Ukrainian people. Here to discuss it, national security expert Rebeccah Heinrichs. Rebeccah, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Now let's dive right into the hard work, and that is, of course, where things stand. We know Special Envoy Steve Witkoff will go to Moscow to talk with the Russians, but it's pretty clear from Andriy Yermak that this whole idea about ceding Donetsk, Luhansk, the Donbass region is not a thing that they're looking to do, and that could be a huge sticking point. And you see that map along that red line. That is essentially the line that they have been fighting on for nearly 4 years, and Ukraine saying, we're not giving this area up. Where do you see things headed?
Well, as you said, Griff, Putin gave a speech here recently where he said that he wants the Ukrainians to leave the territory. Of course, that's Ukrainian territory that Putin is demanding that Ukrainians leave from. Those soldiers have been bleeding and dying for their territory, for home and hearth, for each other. And so even if Zelenskyy wanted to say that these Ukrainians had to withdraw, he's not going to be able to get him to. And then you have to deal with the rest of the Ukrainian society, who then has to support a withdrawal, a surrender of Ukrainian territory. So that is going to be, I think, impossible for Ukraine. And then, of course, you just have the fact that Donetsk is significant on the battlefield. So once if Ukraine were to give up Donetsk, it permits Russia to have essentially a free reign to the rest of the country, so Russia could regroup and then just reinvade. So it's going to be impossible, I think, to give up that territory. But to Griff, last point, Putin was defiant in this speech that he gave. He also said that he didn't want to deal with the Ukrainian government as it was because he believes it's an illegitimate government. So he's back to his old claims. Well,
you raised such a good point. It's worth reminding viewers that even if Zelenskyy were willing to give up Donetsk or cede other territory, that would have to go to a national referendum in Ukraine before he could even do it. So it's not like he has that bargaining chip just by his own will. But on the flip side, with Putin saying that he'll just take this by force, he's failed to do that. He's shown he cannot do that in the nearly 4 years of fighting. So what's to say he could actually achieve that goal?
He's actually been trying, Griff, since the Obama administration. When the Russians came in and took Crimea, Russia was unable to take Donetsk all the way back then. It's an extremely fortified area, and the Ukrainians have been very tough, even though they do sustain battlefield losses. Donetsk is something that the Ukrainians have been able to hold. And Secretary Rubio has said on November 12th, as recently as November 12th, Griff, he said that Ukraine can't, quote, can't give up Donetsk because it's so significant to Ukraine. And so the American government has acknowledged that and understands that that is simply something that Ukraine can't do. And yet, Russia continues to make maximalist demands. So I think a lot of this is smoke and mirrors on the part of the Russians. I don't think that Putin is negotiating in good faith, Griff.
We'll see where that goes. Meanwhile, let's bring the conversation into the Western Hemisphere and focus on Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro ramping up his tough talk on social media. But President Trump yesterday saying that the administration will soon not only stop the drug boats, but maybe by land as well. Listen to this.
In recent weeks, you've been working to deter Venezuelan drug traffickers, of which there are many. Of course, there aren't too many coming in by sea anymore, if you probably noticed that. We've almost stopped. It's about 85% stopped by sea. You probably noticed that. People aren't wanting to be delivering by sea. And we'll be starting to stop them by land also.
And should he choose to do that, Rebeccah, he has an awful lot of options with the firepower in the Caribbean.
He does, Griff, and it certainly looks like the Trump administration is basically encircling Maduro, trying to force Maduro to surrender and permit somebody else to take over that country. Of course, that's our hemisphere. The Chinese and the Russians have been trying to get access into Venezuela, try to get a foothold there. So this is more about just drugs, Griff, in our hemisphere. This is about the United States asserting itself and making sure that our peer adversaries don't have a foothold.
And Maduro is being targeted because he is the alleged leader of the Cartel del Soles, the Cartel of the Suns. They got that nickname because the Venezuelan generals for decades that have been facilitating this drug trade from Colombia into Venezuela have the gold epaulets on their uniform, hence the Cartel of the Suns. Is there, in the last few seconds we've got, is there a chance that the president can succeed in shutting this cartel down?
Well, certainly he has the ability to shut it down, Griff. I mean, you can see that there's, as the president noted, there's very few drug boats now coming out by sea because the United States has been eliminating them immediately. And then, of course, designating Maduro as the head of this terrorist state would also give the United States more options to further pressure Maduro and Venezuela's role in keeping the cartels funded and in play.
We shall see where it goes. Rebeccah Heinrichs, thank you for taking time today.
Thanks, Griff.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.